If you've ever made a decision and then immediately questioned it, not because it was wrong, but because it just felt like you already understand something most people never slow down to notice. We like to think our decisions are logical, rational, based on facts, circumstances, and whatever's in front of us, but the truth is quieter than that and a little more revealing. Most of your decisions weren't made in the moment you made them. They were made years ago by the kind of person you slowly became. Think about the small choices you make automatically, whether you speak up in a group or wait, whether you reply to a message immediately or leave it for hours, whether you say yes when you want to say no or say nothing at all. These aren't random. They follow a pattern, and the pattern follows you. Psychologists have spent decades studying what drives human decision-making, and what they keep finding isn't surprising once you see it. Personality doesn't just influence decisions. In many cases, it is the decision, long before any conscious reasoning begins. People who score high in conscientiousness, for example, tend to gather more information before deciding anything. They delay, they weigh, they second-guess not because they're afraid, but because their internal wiring defines responsible as thorough. Their decisions look cautious from the outside. From the inside, it feels like care. And people higher in openness, they decide faster when something is new. The novelty itself becomes the signal to move forward, not impulsivity, pattern recognition. Their personality recognizes possibility before logic finishes loading. But here's where it gets more interesting. Personality doesn't just shape what you decide, it shapes what you're protecting when you decide. Someone who avoids conflict whenever possible isn't weak, they're solving for emotional safety, a system they built, often without realizing it, because at some earlier point in their life, conflict was costly. Now, the nervous system reacts before the mind does. The decision to stay quiet isn't a choice made in the moment, it's a policy that was written a long time ago. Same thing with people-pleasing. It doesn't come from liking people more than others do. It comes from a deep internal equation that links disapproval with danger. Not dramatic danger, just the quiet, persistent discomfort of feeling like something is wrong. Saying yes keeps that feeling away, so the personality learns to say yes, and then it becomes who you are. That's not weakness, that's protection. It just becomes invisible with time. And here's what most people miss entirely. We assume that when we make a decision, we're evaluating the situation. But what we're often doing is evaluating ourselves against the situation. The real question underneath every significant choice isn't, what should I do? It's, what would someone like me do? Identity runs the calculation. Personality provides the answer. Logic writes the explanation afterward. This is sometimes called identity-based decision-making in psychology. Your sense of self acts as a filter, and information that matches your existing self-concept moves forward. Information that challenges it gets minimized, reframed, or quietly ignored. Which is why the same opportunity can look completely different to two people with different personalities. One sees risk, one sees a door. They're not looking at different things, they're looking through different selves. The deeper you look, the more you start to see that personality and decision-making form a loop, not a line. Every decision you make reinforces something about who you think you are. Say yes to enough things that make you uncomfortable, and your self-concept starts to include someone who says yes. Avoid enough conflict, and you start to see yourself as someone who keeps the peace. The decisions shape the identity shapes the next decision, and so on. This is why people often feel like their choices are just happening to them rather than being made by them. In a sense, they're right. A great deal of decision-making runs on a kind of psychological autopilot, personality scripts that have been running so long they've become the background of everything. It's not a flaw, it's efficiency. The human brain would exhaust itself if every small decision required full conscious deliberation. So patterns get compressed into instinct. Personality becomes a shortcut. The cost is that sometimes you can't easily tell where the pattern ends and where your actual present moment preference begins. What's worth sitting with is this: your personality isn't separate from your decisions. It's woven into them, into the ones you agonize over and the ones you make without thinking, into the opportunities you move toward and the ones you quietly let pass. You're not making choices in a vacuum. You're making choices from inside a particular way of being, one that formed gradually, shaped by experience, reinforced by repetition, and expressed continuously in everything from major life decisions to how you respond to a single message. Once you see that, something shifts, not dramatically, quietly. You start to notice the pattern before it completes itself. You start to recognize the signature of your own personality in the middle of a decision, not to override it, but to understand it, to know what's driving and why. It was never random. It was always a pattern. And understanding the pattern is where everything begins. If this explained something about the way you move through decisions, there's a lot more beneath the surface. Understanding yourself is the beginning of everything.